Hello comrades, you're watching RedIvanAirsoft and today we'll talk about Vojska Republike Srpske or Bosnian Serb entry-level basic loadout. In early 90s, after Bosnia got its independence from Yugoslavia, Bosnian Serbs tried to get their independence from Bosnia, and that caused a Bosnian War from 1992 till 1995. And today we'll talk about different uniforms, camouflages and gear that Bosnian Serbs used during this conflict. But before we begin, I want to mention two things. First of all, this video is completely non-political. For me, it's very sad when Slavs with similar languages, close cultures fight each other. And I choose Bosnian Serbs only because I basically love their uniforms and gear. And second thing is that I'm not a reenactor, I'm just regular Airsofter like you guys, and I just share what I found and what I know. Since I don't speak or read Serbian language, I may be wrong in some points, and if somebody from Serbia, Bosnia or Croatia watching this video, if you can edit me or correct in any way, it will be greatly appreciated. So now let's start. And we'll begin with headgear, and of course it was old Yugoslavian headgear such as M59 and M85 helmets, which by the way were used by all participants of this war. So to define where are Serbs, where are Bosnian Muslims and where are Croats, they used stickers with their national logos to cover a red communistic star. Also they used titovka, which in Russia we call pilotka, and as I know Americans call it Harrison cap. I don't know why. By the way, if you know the reason for this name, please put it in the comments below. Also they used mountain units cap, which is pretty weird because in Yugoslavia the only units that had normal and comfortable cap were mountain units, but later on with development of M87 and M89 camouflages, they also created the same type of cap but in a camouflage pattern. Also Bosnian Serbs used their national hat called Shaikacha, and even their high-rank officers' headgear was based on Shaikacha. Other than this, you could see a lot of different commercial lizard pattern caps and miscellaneous civilian hats. And now let's talk about uniform. And of course they used old Yugoslavian M77 uniform, M87, which was experimental Yugoslavian camouflage uniform, consists of pants, shirt, field jacket, windbreaker or something closer to parka, and even vest for cold weather. M89 uniform, which basically was a finalized version of M87, which had some minor differences, such as a little bit different furniture and pockets, and also it had a slightly different camouflage pattern. Stains became a little bit bigger and coloration was a little bit brighter. Another interesting Yugoslavian uniform piece was M68 MOL, which was used by scouts, snipers, paratroopers, border guards, and even their half shelters were made in this camouflage pattern. And now we finally came to the lizard pattern. Lizard pattern is basically a successor of a French lizard, and it was used in Yugoslavia since 80s by some special force units and Ministry of Foreign Affairs. But it gained a huge popularity during the Bosnian War, used by Bosnian Serbs. Yugoslavian lizard uniform had snap-on buttons on the pockets, and of course in certain amounts it could be made during Bosnian War, but mainly issued by Bosnian Serbs was this Bosnian-made M89 style tiger or lizard camo uniforms. And later on I'll show you how it looks. We will discuss it when I'll put it on, But now let's talk about all gear, and later on we'll discuss the uniform itself, and then we'll see everything together in my loadout. So if you just want to see how it looks, just go to the end of this video. And another interesting thing that was made in this lizard camouflage was coverall. The thing is that Bosnian Serb, they loved coveralls, and they had a lot of different types of coveralls, probably commercial made, during this war. Interesting fact is that they had these coveralls not only in lizard pattern, but also in VSR 84 or Soviet Butan pattern. Material for these coveralls was brought by Russian or Ukrainian volunteers. Also, Bosnian Serbs used woodland camouflage in certain amount, which had no sense because their enemies Bosnian Muslims and Croats used it as a main pattern. But we like it, so deal with it. So now let's talk about gear. Old one was basically old Yugoslavian National Army gear. There were two types of belts, officers' belts and private belts. Backpacks like this. It's like one-day backpack, pretty comfortable, had a few different pockets, not too big, not too small. Also, Yugoslavian mess kit, which is pretty cool because it's compact, but it's pretty uncomfortable, because let's say you want to drink. First of all, it makes a lot of noise. Second of all, simply to drink, you need to open first one, second one, and it's like Russian matryoshka, does it? And only then you can drink. So, for example, what I do, I keep my mess equipment inside the bag, and only canteen I have on my belt inside the mess kit pouch. Next one is M70 magazine pouch. It's pretty simple Warsaw Pact style pouch, with the only difference, you see there is a strap like in RPK, so you can put it on you. Next step is Yugoslavian weapon sling, and Yugoslavian weapon sling is made specifically for Yugoslavian SKS or Yugoslavian version of AK. So since I'm using the Romanian AK, which we'll discuss a little bit later, it does not fit my sling loop. So what I did, I used this carbine from a German sling, which actually could be found during the Bosnian War, and I put it on my rifle like so. We moving to the modern type of gear. It was made by Mili Dragic company. By that time Mili Dragic produced two types of military belts. First one you see on the screen right now, and the second one was pretty close to American LC2, which I use for my loadout since it's impossible to find Mili Dragic one nowadays. And the main difference was that the Mili Dragic belt was slightly thinner because it was capable to use with Yugoslavian or Soviet style equipment such as this canteen cover, and to put it on my LC2, which is wider, I need to disassemble half of the belt to remove the buckle, and only then I can put this pouch on it. And almost forgot, some Serbs used cool vests to carry even more equipment. At this point, before we move to the gear that left on my table, we need to discuss pistols. And Bosnian Serbs used three main Yugoslavian pistols. First was M57, which was basically a clone of Tokarev pistol. Second one was its shortened version. And third one was the most interesting one, was CZ99, which was pretty close to Sig Sauer P228. And I would say that it was like upgraded version of it, and it has some cool features that Sig Sauer does not have. So if first two were used with Yugoslavian leather holsters, the third one was used with Mili Dragic M94 holster, which was basically the Yugoslavian made replica of M12. but with some small differences, such as color. For example, this is the original Milidragic mag pouch, so you see the colors are a little bit different, and also the size and some other small features. In Serbia, this holster is pretty cheap. It goes for $15 to $20, but when I ask somebody to bring it here, they want $70 or even $90, and unfortunately I'm not ready to pay more than like $50 to $55. And by the way, if somebody who lives in Serbia or has some friends in Serbia watching this video and you're ready to help me with some fair price to find and bring here this holster, please contact me in comments below. It would be greatly appreciated. So, since we already started to discuss weaponry, let's continue and let's discuss all firearms used by Bosnian Serbs. And of course, mainly it were firearms delivered by Yugoslavia, so it was Yugoslavian-made firearms or Yugoslavian-issued firearms, such as M70B, which is basically Yugoslavian AKM, M70AB2, which is Yugoslavian AKMS, M72, which is Yugoslavian RPK, M76, which is basically AK-style sniper rifle with Mauser caliber, M84, which is Yugoslavian PKM, M53, which is Yugoslavian MG42, and M59-66, which is Yugoslavian-made SKS. Also, they used a Scorpion machine pistol made in Czechoslovakia, and they had PPSH, MP40, Thompson submachine guns, and all that things. If we're talking about some trophy guns, it would be other AK platforms that have been delivered to Bosnians or Croats and captured by Bosnian Serb. It could be everything. I even found all types of Romanian, German AKs, Hungarian AKs, Type 56, Type 56-1, and even MADI. So now we finally came to this loadout. Now I'll put everything together and show you guys. So this is how our Bosnian Serb jacket looks like. It has M89 style furniture. Since this jacket is pretty hot, in summertime they used shorts instead of it. It has shoulder straps, but the rank insignia usually located in front on the left side. Instead of commonly known BDU pockets, you see two slots with D-rings on each side, which were used to carry grenades. Lower pockets have usual shape and have Velcro. There is only one shoulder pocket on the left side, and what is interesting, this pocket has a Velcro panel for patches. But since Serbs are Slavs, the patch does not have Velcro on it. So I made some Velcro by myself. On the sides you have straps for the belt, but they are located so high, so it's impossible to use them with belt. Also, it has double pocket inside. Now let's talk about pants. No zippers, buttons all the way, small strap for storage, small pocket on the side, probably for dog tags. Synthetic material inside the pockets so it can breathe well. Cargo pockets on the sides have seam in the middle, so it splits pocket in two slots, so you can carry two magazines for AK in each of them, exactly like in the Soviet VSR-84 that made for Soviet airborne units. No straps on the bottom. That's how it all looks together. So I hope you like this video. Share your ideas for Bosnian, Serb or Croat loadouts in comments below. Subscribe to my channel and see you soon.
Tamo daleko, daleka od mora, tamo je selo moje, tamo je Srbija. Tamo je selo moje, tamo je Srbija.